much over to say, Bryan Broaddus. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate y'all. Getting a little work in, getting close to the get down. Y'all just hang tight. It'll still be here for the time being, but at some point we will need y'all to, I don't want to say migrate, but just like buy a second house over at the Crown Global Media YouTube page. Like, don't leave here. I like, this is still gonna be fine. I'm still gonna be doing it, but just a second house over there at Crown Global Media. It'll get here at some point. We'll update you on that. But we appreciate the outpour, the kind words, the encouragement, the pats on the back that y'all have been giving us so far. Ayo, Voch, Bryan, we can't wait. Voch, we're thrilled. Can't wait to see what that turns into. We appreciate y'all. Please, you guys.
You want to know what I'm looking forward to? There's a lot of great things that we're going to do.
What's that, bro?
Over with our studio. Mm-hmm. I'm really looking forward to breaking down film with you. I'm really looking forward to with our touch screens and getting into the X's and O's and why and trying to figure out and maybe talk to the Illuminati why. Oh, why did you guys do this? Well, what was the thought here? You know, and maybe breaking that down a little further. Yeah, I'm really, really excited about that part. There's a lot of things that we're going to do at Crown Global Media that I'm super proud of, and I'm looking forward to every day. It encourages me a little more, but man, I just am so excited about breaking down film with you. I just am, you know, so that was just my 2 cents. So,
you know,
carry on, sir. Carry on.
Back in the day when Cowboys.com wasn't on YouTube, they'll just do everything on the website, which is very backwards at the time, which is very backwards. You would break down film.
Oh, I did.
And that made me go, damn, boy, ain't nobody doing this on YouTube. So I haven't told you this, but I started breaking down film because I am a Bryan Broaddus disciple, and you was breaking down film on the .com there. So that's why I got into it. So being able to get back to it, that's my original trade, Bryan, is breaking down film.
I had more fun doing that in that, you know, at the studio. We started at Valley Ranch. You know, we were kind of like, you know, Ed Cahill and Kent Garrison, guys who were there at Valley Ranch. And he's like, what do you think about breaking down plays? Like with a telestrator and all that? And they're like, yeah. And then it became this huge touch screen. Yeah. You know, and then it was, oh wow, I could draw circles and then make lines going with it. And I thought when I was doing that, and they would be amazed that over there that I could do all that in one take, that I could just stand up there and go, all right, let's go. And then circle and then, you know, and get excited like Madden did, you know, and all that. But
that's
that is going to be a big part of what we do at Crown Global Media is this educate people. I always talk about investigate, educate in the draft show. It's something I've always believed. I've always believed this too. I am huge, and Voch shares this same thought with me. And folks, I'm sorry, this is my last thing I'm going to say. Voch and I share this. If you come along on this journey with us, I promise you, it is about the product to me. It is about the product. You know, I mean, there's things that we could do and, you know, but it's about the product, and you guys consume the product. And that is the number one thing that's important to me, that our podcasts, all our talent, the people, everything that we do, it's about the product, but we want to make sure that along the way you get something out of our shows. That's the most important thing to me right now. So thank you very much for listening to my little spiel there. Thanks for doing a good job on the break today, man. You were fun to work with on the break.
Yeah, appreciate
I don't think Amber.
Bryan
just gonna roll the ball out there and here we go, kind of a deal, you know. But he did a great job today too.
Appreciate you, boss. This is what I've learned, Bryan. Is the more people that are on the show, the more I got to let other people talk. So when we got 5 people on the draft show, I got to be like, yeah, this player is good. What about you, Kyle? What you think? You know what I'm saying? But we get to mess around a little bit. Is me, you, and the host, you know? So I get the, well, Bryan, what do you think? Oh, Amber, what you think about this? It turned into
I'll tell you another thing too I'm excited about is getting you out there at training camp with me too.
Yeah, for sure. That's gonna be a thing, Bryan.
I am now if we get Derek Eagleton to kind of move along his little thing, we can you're listening, boss, we kind of need a little help here. But
send some bread.
Man, Voch and I are going to be together at training camp. Excited about that.
I mean, DallasCowboys.com. Can I get a card just so I can get some food or something? Can I just get a little stipend card for some food or something?
Oh man, training camp's gonna be fun.
It'll be fun, Brian.
Fun. The shows from training camp are gonna be good at night too.
Damn, rudder room, man. Bryan Broaddus.
Man, you can learn a lot. You can learn a lot at the rudder room.
I'm bringing my notepad. I just want to
just gotta take it all in. Take it all in. Yeah.
I ran to Twitter and I got some questions, Bryan Broaddus.
Good for you.
Got some questions.
I knew you'd come up with some content tonight. That's the kind of guy you are.
Yo, Bryan, it was tough, man, but I didn't want to get shamed. Like, look, this Voch just didn't want to work tonight. Like, I didn't want you to say that about me, man. So I went and got some questions, found some work for us, Bryan. But
I was proud that people were saying that they want to hear us talk about hockey. I was reading the comments this morning.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. But go ahead with your questions, sir. Go ahead with your questions.
Man, I thought this was a good one, man, from our guy Smalls, man. Smalls HD. Shouts out to Smalls. Shouts out to Smalls, man. Smalls HD.
Shouts out to you, Smalls HD.
Shouts out to our boy. Bryan.
Ooh.
I'm going to make this like, I'm going to word it like beginning the season, right? Like we're getting the season started. You know what I mean? There's always this acclimation period.
Yeah.
Bryan, who's got to get off to a quicker start?
Ooh.
This is a good one, Smalls.
Smalls, great job. That's good.
Who got to get off to a quicker start? And also, Bryan, you can consider the fact that we playing the Eagles week 1. You can consider that into the analysis, Bryan. Who has to get off to a quicker start? Offense or defense?
Offense. Man, you do not need Dak Prescott starting off the first 2, 3, 4 weeks of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Not being Dak Prescott that we've seen, pre-injury. Mm-hmm. This team's going to need to score some points.
Yeah.
Because the quicker they score points and show the ability to be dominant, whether it's running the football, throwing the football, that opens up so much more for their defense. You make teams very one-dimensional chasing you for points. You take running game out of this for opponents, then it plays right into the pass rush that you and Amber and I talked about today.
Yeah.
I just don't know if the offense could be behind. The defense carrying it, but if you're losing games because you're not scoring enough, they don't. Boy, it's happened the last couple of times too. Offense slow out of the gate, problems, don't have any consistency. The offense gets this thing going right off the jump. It's going to open up a lot for this defense. You're not making things on the razor's edge for defense if you find a way to score points early and just keep the pressure on opponents. So my answer, offense. But man, what a good question.
Man, Bryan,
argue the point of defense. Argue the point for defense.
My point to argue defense would be what happened to you in the Saints game. Like if your defense is so bad, it kind of forces your offense to have to be twice as good. You know what I mean? Like if your defense flopping around and the other team is first drive putting up points, second drive putting up points, third drive putting up points, now offensively you can't even get into a rhythm. You know what I mean? I think this is a fantastic question because if there's anything that I've learned from losing these bigger games is that the Cowboys offensively will eventually figure it out in the second half. Eventually they'll get something going, but if the damn score is 21-0 going into the half, 28-0 going into the half, that don't matter, Bryan. You know what I'm saying? So in my mind, man, if this let this defense be elite. Let this defense be elite. You know what I mean? Because I got a feeling that this offense is generally good enough to do what it's always done.
Which unit has the best chance to be elite?
I think the offense has the better chance to be elite.
Yeah.
I think the offense has the better chance. Yeah.
Right now they do. Right now they do. I love your argument for the defense.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, because you're right. You watch the game against the Saints in week 2.
Sure.
The Ravens played with their food in the second half and gave you a chance.
Because look, Brian, how about this? You weren't really great offensively versus the Browns. The Browns just couldn't score. Week 1, they just couldn't score.
That's fair.
So now you're getting turnovers on them. So you eventually got into the flow of the offense, and it ended up you beat the hell out the Browns. But that was only because the defense gave you a shot. The Saints, you had no shot. You was out of your offense immediately. Both sides make quality arguments. I just don't want this defense to flop around. I mean, take a look at the Bills game. You didn't even have a chance in that game. Packers game, you didn't have a chance in that game. Because they could just hand the ball off and it's 21-0 in the second quarter.
Yeah, but nothing's worse than that offense flopping around though either.
That's terrible too. But I'd rather them flop around and give me a chance to win. Like, Brian, I used to be this guy. Oh man, we're gonna have a top 2 offense, a top 3 wide receiver core. I really stopped caring about that as long as you won the game at the end. If it was 0-0 all the way to the fourth quarter and we won 7-6, that's a W. If we win a Super Bowl by winning 7-6, 21 times, 22 times, that's a Super Bowl. I don't got to rank nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather win at the end. But what I have seen is in these big games, man, what you mean? James Cook's rushing for 215. What you mean? Josh Allen threw the ball 10 times.
Oh, the Saints. Carr threw the ball 15 times.
Yeah.
And that ass kicking.
Yeah. So
either
way ain't wrong. Either way ain't wrong.
I'm watching Detroit last year. They caught up with them at the very end because they started getting too banged up on defense.
Yeah.
Their offense carried them, didn't they?
Yeah, for sure.
Offense carried them.
Yeah.
I can't endure another 5 weeks, week 1 to week 5, of a Cowboy offense looking like crap.
Yeah.
Not with you brought in the coordinator and no, you got a new line coach. No, you got a new receiver and Brian Schottenheimer's calling the plays. My gosh, he's not going to make the same mistakes Mike McCarthy and them did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have faith in Eberflus.
Mm-hmm.
I do. We'll see what happens with this offense, though. Don't go out there and pee down your leg for 5 weeks.
Right.
And then all of a sudden have, CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens have to stand in front of the media and you're like, well, George, what happened? Well, it's
trash here.
We're not getting it done, man.
Dak ain't good. Shotty ain't good. And now Pickens crashing out. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Do you have any faith, George, that the offense is going to get any better?
Nah,
man. No, I don't. My man will say that in a heartbeat.
Be honest, Brian.
Be honest. That's a great question, though.
Shouts out to Smalls, man. Great question.
Small. I might steal that one from you tomorrow, brother. You might hear that one on 105.3 The Fan.
Write that shit down, Brian. Go ahead, write it
down.
Oh, no,
I am going to write it down. I'm write it down. Jeff, I'm on with Jeff in the morning. Love of the Star.
That's him too, man. Save it for next week. We'll be back on the break.
Smalls might get a lot of play.
Shout him out. Shout him out, Brian. Yeah, Smalls from Smalls HD from Twitter. Yeah, he went crazy on that.
Smalls HD. Yeah, I liked what he did. Yeah. I like it.
Man,
that's the kind of people. That's the kind of people I like following me.
Yeah,
that's the kind of
not the knuckleheads.
That's my guy for Crown Global Media right there.
That's not the Smalls,
smart guy like that. That's a good question,
Brian. On that same token,
yeah,
we can kind of keep it week 1. We can expand a little bit.
How worried are you about this Philadelphia game week 1? By the way,
Dak's healthy. I ain't worried about it. If Dak is healthy going into games like that, I feel like you have a shot every time he's healthy going into a game like that. I think it's hard for me to say they're a much talented team, man, because I think quarterback carries so much of that. I think matchups carry so much of that. They have quality players on defense more than us, but we still got Dak, CD, and GP. You know what I mean? And I think Dak knows how to deal with those guys, how to deal with that secondary. I think he's seen better secondaries than them, man. And, you know, Jalen Hurts shots out to him, man, but we gotta cover their guys. And you know,
I got our guy Makuba back there. We talked about Makuba.
I hope he don't start. I hope they make him earn the eagle on the helmet. I hope they earn his wings.
Earn those wings.
Earn your wings.
There was I understand this. There was a listener this morning that says, "Hey, I'm tired of you talking all this shit about the Eagles." How much say? And I'm like, well, they are pretty good, but thank you for your comment. I appreciate you, man.
Bryan Broaddus, on that same kind of token, a mosquito flying in here. On that same token, Bryan Broaddus, you know, the Cowboys got this certain groove that we trying to get in, right? We're trying to score early, make you have to pass the ball so that we can pass rush and catch interceptions. That's the groove that we trying to get in.
That's where we're trying to go.
Brian, hand me that drink says. Great name. He says,
what a great name.
Hand me that drink says, how many points per game does this offense have to score in order to utilize what I think will be the strongest part of defense, the pass rush? And that's the second question right there. Brian, how many points per game we going to have to score to comfortably do what we want to do defensively?
You're looking at 26?
I think that's fair.
I mean, you don't have to agree with me on that one. I just kind of felt like that, 28 might be too much, but you got Brandon Aubrey. Maybe you got
Aubrey get you there, yeah.
Three touchdowns and a couple of Brandon Aubreys for about 57, 58 yards, kind of a deal.
That's good for me, Brian. If you average, like Cooper Rush averaged what, like 20 points a game or something?
It was like 18 around there.
It was like 18 or something. It was like 18 or something nonsense.
It felt like it wasn't nearly enough.
Like some BS, Brian. But I feel like if you go out there and I think 26 points will do it. But I don't think it's about the points throughout the game. I think it's about now, Brian, how many points you want to have on the board in the first half? That's what I think is most important. I think that's a more detailed question. Project how many points you think you got to have in the first half for your defense to comfortably do what they want to do in the second half, or for you to just kill clock, run the ball or whatever, right? Like what's a comfortable number? I'm thinking 28 and a half sounds unrealistic. It just doesn't sound fair. But 3.5 touchdowns.
You're thinking anywhere between 14, 17 points first half, and then another 2 touchdowns.
17 to 21 in the first half sounds good. Maybe 28 is not unrealistic. I just was kind of thinking the 4 touchdowns. I was thinking 3 touchdowns and a couple of Brandon Aubreys. I know that's 27, but that's kind of what I was thinking right there. In a whole game, I like that. Yeah. Like in a whole game, I like that. I think 17 points in the half. Like if we
17.
If we going into halftime and we got 17 points up, hopefully the other team ain't got 21. Hopefully they ain't got 25. But if you got 17 points on the board, I think you can survive whatever happens in the second half.
I totally agree. Give me 17 in the first, and we'll navigate the second half, and maybe add another 17. Maybe it's only 14. But you go into a half with a first half margin of 17, you're probably going to win a lot of games. It's a good question. Oh, God dang.
That's another
These
one,
folks
right?
are 2 for 2.
That's right. Hey, look,
hand me that drink.
I keep the good ones, you know what I'm saying? I keep the good ones.
That's a great name, by the way.
Give me that drink.
Give me that drink. Hey, was it hand me that drink or give me that drink?
I gotta go. Okay, let me get this question, then I'll go back.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
No, it's good. I got a process over here.
I do this all the time. I ask questions of my guys that they have to look up that I can very well look up myself.
Let me see. I got let's see. That's from that guy. Hold on, give me 30 seconds, bro. I'll find it for you. Hand me that drink. My bad. Hand me that drink.
All right. Hand me that drink. I thought so.
Hand me that drink. All right.
You need to take a drink.
Man, Bryan Broaddus, man.
Yeah, Bryan Broaddus.
We just talked about getting off to a good start.
Yeah.
Which one of these units you want to be elite or whatever. Just, kind of, opening up for the season. How many points we got to score. Brian, all this ties together.
It does.
Brother Joshua Soto says.
All right, Soto.
Let me say it, like, what matchups in particular in week 1 versus the Eagles can ensure? Let me tie them all together. What matchups in particular in game 1 versus the Eagles can ensure that we get off to a fast start?
What kind of matchups? Okay, let me do something here real quick. I got to pull my Philadelphia Eagles depth chart up because I'm curious about what kind of he's asking what matchups.
Let's do offense. Let's do Cowboys offense, Eagles.
Okay, I think
Eagles
we know.
defense.
Okay, yeah. Let me do this. Let me just make sure. Let me hit the Eagles because I want to make sure I got all their guys. I'd hate like talking about this Eagle defense and not having all their guys there. But we could do that right now. All right, here we go. Okay, I'm looking at our lads, right? That's kind of where I'm getting my guys. All right. You're probably going to have, of course, you're going to have a rookie right guard starting, second-year center, and a all-pro left guard.
Yep.
Talk about Jordan Davis. Talk about Jalen Carter.
That's a hell of a opening task, Bryan Broaddus.
Yeah.
That's a hell of an opening task there to have to deal with those guys. Now, if there's anybody that's out of college ready to keep up, he may not be dominant in this game because he's a rookie. Like, this is his first game ever. But if there's a player coming out of college that's ready to just be big and strong versus those guys, it would be Tyler Booker. But that's gonna be a very important matchup, though, Bryan.
Do you think it starts there? Do you think the matchup, or do you think it's Micah Parsons or whoever plays right end, or who play against Jordan Mailata, or who plays? Is it going to be about being up front, or is okay? Let's see what Mitchell, and let's see DeJean, and who's going to be the opposite corner? Is that going to be Keely Ringo? Who is going to be that opposite corner? Or is DeJean going to start and they're going to kick him inside? I personally think, at least in week 1, all the matchups on both lines are going to be the ones that are going to be key.
I'm just looking at their D-line, Bryan. I know that we, really put a lot of emphasis on the interior guys.
Yeah.
All their rushers are gone. As far as Sweat and Reddick was going. He was going a couple years ago.
Nolan Smith has gotten. I tell you what,
he's a little better.
Nolan Smith for a while there looked very busty.
Yeah.
And I know people in Philly are like, Broaddus, you're not watching the damn. He's never been. Trust me, I've seen the comments from Philadelphia Eagle fans about Nolan Smith.
Yeah.
He played a lot better last year. Matter of fact, all the Georgia kids have gotten better.
So it's really Nolan Smith and Zach Bond that are like your pass rushers as far as outside guys. I mean, we know what the 3-tech can do. Carter as a pass rusher. Bryan, do you feel like that this game 1 kind of sets up well for Tyler Guyton's confidence? You know what I mean? That he and look, to be fair, if you're gonna whoop Tyler Guyton, you're gonna have to be like stronger than him, or you're gonna have to like make him have to not be confident. Nolan is a bursty, run fast guy, but that's kind of what Tyler Guyton is, right? Like that kind of fits what you want Guyton to be able to do. Like if this was TJ Watt or something, he'll just run down the middle of Guyton and kick his ass, right? But as a speedy, bursty guy, I think your offensive tackles match up kind of well with what they're doing over on the edge there, Bryan. But
yeah,
I think the big fight is in the interior. Bryan, let me ask you a question. If we have Pickens and Lamb and all that going on, which one of these linebackers is going to be covering Ferguson, and how are they going to attack that now? Because back in the day, if Ferguson was your second option, they'll just kind of move somebody over there to just kind of take Dak's eyes away from him. I imagine they're going to give a lot more attention to Pickens and Lamb. Is this finally like a time where we get a Jake Ferguson emergence? Like, is week 1 going to be the time to do it?
Do you worry about them saying, do you think that they'll start, and we mentioned his name here a couple of days now, do you think they'll start Makuba? Do you think they'll start Makuba here? Or they've had Sidney Brown's played there but Sidney Brown has always been a special teamer.
Yeah.
From my memory, I don't remember Sidney Brown
Tearing it
I
up.
think
Yeah.
I don't remember Sidney Brown playing a lot of defensive snaps.
Sure.
I'm sure there's some Eagle fans that are watching and in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember. I remember Sidney Brown being a special teams player for the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
But as you look at our lads right now, they got Sidney Brown, the starter at strong safety.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it's going to be Blankenship and Makuba, and do now take Makuba and put him over the top of Ferguson.
I hope that don't stop them from going cover 2, because if not, then we just throwing the ball to deep to Pickens. If that's the case, I think Brian.
Well,
I want people to understand how huge this damn.
That's the way they play. That's the way they play.
This Pickens thing is so huge, Brian.
Oh heck yeah!
This Pickens thing is so huge, Brian. Like, not just having Pickens, but Pickens with Lamb. It brings a whole new dynamic to what this offense does. I think Ferguson's gonna be like third most dangerous dude on the field, third or fourth most dangerous dude on the field, and they're gonna attack it like that. When Ferguson used to be second most dangerous guy on the field. Man, I think this Pickens thing matters greatly.
Yeah,
but we'll cross that road, Brian.
No, I because like I said, you try and stretch people thin. You try and match up, whether it's moving Pickens. I saw him at Pittsburgh. I know you watched Pittsburgh tape.
Yeah.
A lot of motion in the bunch and scatter, and then him, running. He is a problem to deal with. He's a problem to deal with because when you think you have him covered, you really don't have him covered, because he will find a way to separate a little bit, little arm bow, and then one-hand it or whatever he has to do. So, yeah, Ferguson has always been like last year at this time, we were talking about, well, who's going to have the second most receptions on the team behind Lamb?
Sure.
Ferguson. We automatically, it wasn't Cooks or Tolbert or any of those guys. It was Ferguson. And then, the knee, the concussion, all these things started to happen to him. It just didn't play out, but hopefully this year he'll be back to that guy that, jumping over people, catch the ball, jump over, yards after catch guy, run after catch, whatever you want to call it.
Also about to beat the hell out of this Tyler Steen kid. I can't wait to see that, Brian. Can't wait to see that. Yeah. I got a couple more, Brian. We ain't doing that. I got now this one, Brian, I thought was very interesting because you haven't heard these two names getting thrown around a lot. This is a this or that player comp right here, Brian.
I like this.
Especially considering the idea that the Cowboys still need a little bit of help at corner and D tackle. You would like some young guy to kind of emerge a little bit. Brian, this Voch Lombardi character, he says, who would you rather take a major step? Cornerback.
Did you just do this?
No, I don't know who did it. I don't even know who this person is.
3 seconds ago, I see it.
I don't know who this person is. Who would you rather take a major step? Cornerback Keemon Hall or defensive tackle Justin Rogers?
Give me Rogers. Even though the cornerback room is something that we're all we're not too sure.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, if Justin Rogers steps up and now you've got a guy that's a legitimate rotating player.
Sure.
That can make that, Justin Rogers was a guy that they did draft. It was a guy who kind of went away, came back. I think I've got that right about his history.
Yep. Cincinnati.
But he is a guy that if as many defensive tackles that are kind of those one technique kind of guys, as many of those as I can get, let me absolutely have him. I think Hall would be a really, really, really good addition. Mm-hmm. But to me, I'm kind of thinking like, damn, you got one of these one technique guys that's, 346 pounds. That's all of a sudden it's Osa, excuse me, it's Mozzie, it's JT, it's Justin Rogers. let me tell you, if JT and Justin Rogers are playing better than Mozzie, well, get Mozzie's ass out of there.
Sure.
But you get a guy that all of a sudden is playing at a high level at that defensive tackle spot, and when he was coming out of school, I mean, we talked a lot about this guy at Auburn. I mean, a lot about him, like big, powerful, strong guy. Then he went away, came back, as we're saying. But God, if he could be the next, if he can make us like be that guy that's, I could say that just guy, it's hard to move and getting down the line, maybe penetrating a little bit, keeping linebackers. We always say keep linebackers clean, but carry and block, whatever he has to do. Don't be the guy that's just standing there and then getting hooked, and because you're not moving and stuff. Be an active guy. But man, if you take that major step forward with a 346-pound guy, that's stealing right there.
My context was can Justin Rogers be like a Bohanna type guy? You know what I mean? Like kind of like what he was like right before he left to go to wherever the hell he went. Like, can we get some Bohanna type reps out of him? And we was just getting ready to say Bohanna was ready to take some more steps, and that was like year 2 Bohanna, I believe. So now we're in year 2 Justin Rogers, and he'll probably be in his man body. He's got an off season, on his belt or whatever. So you're right, Brian. What I don't want to do is have to lean on the rookie just day one. JT. We leaning on Jay Toia. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do that immediately. But I thought the Keemon Hall thing was interesting because we have a bunch of corners, but like we ain't really got nickel corners.
Yeah,
we ain't got nickel corners. They all outside.
Hall stepped up. I was surprised at how well Hall played.
Yeah,
I really, really was.
Yeah,
and now kind of a year of an experience under his belt, little confidence in the way he played. You need corners to step up, though. I think you need Carson to step up. If you would have put Carson, if you would have changed this to here you go.
Stupid Fred said, would you rather step up in year 2, Kalen Carson or Tyler Guyton? I think this is another good one too, Brian.
This is a really, really good one.
Yeah.
This is a good one. Your left tackle. God, yes, you want your left tackle.
Sure.
But I'll tell you what, man. If Carson could prove that he could be a reliable player and potential starter, I kind of feel like I think Guyton has got a shot, but man, I really, really liked Carson last. I liked Carson a ton coming out of Wake Forest.
Sure.
And I was really disappointed he got hurt. He wasn't, training camp wasn't good. They threw him out there. He got beat up a little bit. That wasn't, it was like, he was kind of a guy that when you watched him in training camp, he might get beat on the first play. Sure. And then from that play on, nothing happened bad to him. I think it was the Raiders game. I think you and I may be talking about it.
Sure.
But he gave up a play, and then the next thing you know, it was play after play after play after play. He was locked in, and you're like, okay, that kid's got a short memory.
Yeah.
But let's be real honest. That left tackle plays at a high level. Man, that could solve a lot of worries.
Yeah.
For Cowboy fans.
Yeah.
If all of a sudden they knew they had a steady, dependable left tackle
special
that was young, that would alleviate a lot of stress in Cowboy Nation right now.
Sure. I agree, Brian. I agree. I could take either side. Because I saw another comment that said this. We don't even know if Diggs or Bland gonna be here next year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you would really love to have a guy like I know, Brian. So you would love to have a guy like Carson that's around. At least he can step up. No,
Carson, I agree. See, the thing about
Carson and Rebel. Go ahead.
Yeah, the thing about Diggs, and just talking to some people this week, I'm like, timeline. Couldn't get one, man.
Have you watched his YouTube show? He's he has a YouTube show. He's dropped 2 episodes of of him recovering and lifting weights and stuff and working out.
How does he look on the plant and turn? Has he done any of that?
He's looking
like
solid.
Plant and turn.
He's
explode.
He's doing some shuffling and some running. I don't know how intensive he's cutting, but he did run a race versus Micah and lost. But that's like straight line speed. We don't know how he's cutting side. Well, I mean, and that could just be Micah looking fantastic. But
you know, like I said, I hope this is one of those things where him and Britt Brown connect, and maybe the words of the president general manager ring true to him, and like it does. Like I said, I've heard really very positive things about Ravel, and the number one thing I heard about him is he's willing. Yeah. He is willing to put in the work. That I know, but the other guy, you know, and there's really no timetable on Overshown. And I know some people in the comments I was reading the other day, like, well, damn, Brian, he tore everything in his knee. He's not coming back. Well, don't, you know, I mean, yeah, you're right. They can't give us a timetable right now. But I was also say, don't doubt that kid.
Yeah.
I was told that. Don't doubt that kid. When you want to doubt Overshown, you might want to try another avenue.
Yeah. You want to take a day off tomorrow, Brian? You know, we ain't really got no content. We ain't really got no news.
How about tomorrow this? How about tomorrow this? I got a couple of shows. I got shows in the morning. Okay. If you got something in mind, I will come up with a bunch of questions for you. How about this? Work Thursday for our fans.
Yes, sir.
Work Thursday for our fans. Yeah. And Friday, I'll let you have a good day.
Okay. Cool. Hey, man, because I was on Bleach Report today. I did the break. Hey, but I had to wake up early. Hey, you know, and it was just my own content. Yeah, Brian. It's whew. Hey, man.
Let's do this.
Awesome Riches, what you think?
Yeah, I will let me come up with some really good content for you. And then we'll hammer it out. And then I will give you a day off on Friday, and you can enjoy your weekend. How about that?
It sounds good, Bryan Broaddus. It sounds fun. Wednesdays are just heavy for me because I got all my shows on Wednesday. You know what I mean? And it just
I got 2 in the morning. Yeah. If you listen to me and Jeffrey do a show on Mondays and Thursdays. Yeah. And then I got Love of the Star tomorrow, and then I got my normal I got a full 5-hour show on tomorrow night. But anyway, you don't need to hear about that. Yeah. Doing things, everything's good. We're getting Crown Global Media all getting it going the right way. I'm excited about that. So thanks everybody for hanging out with us. Voch, you and I be back tomorrow night. We'll hammer this thing out, and then Friday night we'll give everybody a break.
We will be back tomorrow night, and knowing Bryan Broaddus, he's going to renege and say we're going to come in on Friday anyway and get some work done. Because
no.
Brian's going to go on a date. It's all good. Hey,
Mission Impossible's out now. Mission Impossible. We got to go watch Mission Impossible.
That's a thing. I didn't know they still made the movies.
Oh no! I tell you what, the only reason I know all the Mission Impossible movies and seen them all, because when I used to go to the Cowboys road trips, that was always the movie that was playing. We got every Mission Impossible movie there ever was. So I've seen them all, but now I got to go and see the new one.
Brian, you I thought you would be more of a James Bond guy than a Mission Impossible.
Love James Bond. Yeah,
because you're a bow tie character. You know what I mean? I thought you would be more. VOCHLONBARDI. And y'all tap in with Brian and BRYN Broaddus on all platforms. All right, we love y'all to pieces, man. We finna take a nap or something. Till next time, Crown.